Hello friends, welcome to Daring Marana YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about SOLAS regulation for fire main, fire hydrant, relief valve, etc. on ship. So let's discuss about SOLAS regulation for fire main, fire hydrant, relief valve on ship. So regulation for fire main. A fire main system, this must have at least two independently driven fire pump. A fire main system, it should have at least two independently driven fire pump, and this pump should be able to deliver water at a continuous pilot tube pressure of at least 3.4 bar, and at least two fire hose nozzles should be there that are connected to the highest two fire hydrants on the unit. Okay, this pump should be able to deliver water at a continuous pilot tube pressure of at least 3.4 bar pressure, and at least two fire nozzles that are connected to the highest two fire hydrants on the unit. Okay, these are the regulations for the fire main. And the pressure at hydrant should be, for a passenger ship 4000 gross tonnage and upwards, there will be 0.40 Newton per meter square. If it is less than 4000 gross tonnage, its pressure should be 0.30 Newton per meter square, millimeter square. Okay. For cargo ship above 6000 gross tonnage and upwards, there should be 0.27 Newton per millimeter square, and if it is less than 6000 gross tonnage, it should be 0.25 Newton millimeter square. Okay, this is what the of a pressure at hydrant for passenger ship and cargo ship. So the maximum pressure at hydrant, they shall not exceed that at which the effective control of a fire hose can be demonstrated. So the maximum pressure at fire hydrant shall not exceed at which the effective control of a fire hose can be demonstrated. Fire hydrants means number and position of hydrant shall be such that at least two jets of water not emanating from a same hydrant, one of which shall be from the same single length of hose, may reach any part of ship. Fire hydrant means number and position of hydrants, they shall be such that at least two jets of water, they should not be emanating from same hydrant, one of which shall be from single length of hose, they may reach any part of ship, and they shall be positioned in such a way that fire hose may be easily coupled to them, and they may be positioned in such a way that fire hose may be easily coupled to them, and they should be fitted with a valve for controlling the discharge, and hydrant valves are fitted in fire mains, and they should be designed to open with an anti-clockwise rotation of the hand wheel. Okay, and they should be fitted with a valve for controlling the discharge, and hydrant valves, these are fitted in the fire main, and they should be designed to open with an anti-clockwise rotation of the hand wheel. And fire hose means fire hose of approved non-perishable material and be sufficient length to project a jet of water to any of the space required. Fire hose means this should be of approved non-perishable material and they should have sufficient length to project a jet of water to any space required. And fire hose length should be of at least 10 meter in width, but not more than that. At least it should have 10 meter and should 15 meter in a machinery space, it should be there for a fire hose, and 20 meter in the other space and in open deck, and 25 meter for open deck on ships if a maximum breadth is above 30 meter. For a ship in open deck, the maximum breadth is above 30 meter, it should have, the fire hose should have a length of 25 meter. In passenger ship, at least one fire hose for each hydrant should be there. In passenger ship, it is separate regulation, means at least one fire hose for each fire hydrant. Nozzle means the standard nozzles shall be from 12 mm, 16 mm and 19 mm. These are the standard size nozzle. For accommodation and service space, nozzle size should be 12 mm. Okay, that is not to be used. Then for machinery space, nozzle size shall be maximum pressure from two jets from the smallest pump to the nozzle size greater than 90 mm need not be used. For machinery space means the nozzle size should not, we don't need the nozzle size of 19 mm and above should not be used. In accommodation and service space, less than 2 mm and we didn't use. This is what size of nozzle. Then fire main lane, their diagram and main components. So fire main lane in a ship. So let's discuss. Here is a basic diagram of fire main lane. We can say there is a fire hydrant from the emergency fire pump, and main deck will be there, and there will be deck isolator, accommodation isolator and engine isolator. Then be fire bilge and ballast pump, and main fire pump will be there. Okay, the main components are main fire pump. The main fire pump, it is located in the engine room at a bottom platform. Main fire pump is located in the engine at bottom platform. Electrically driven prime movers. Normally connection is given to general service lane through this pump. Okay, main fire pump means it is located in the engine room at bottom platform. Electrically driven prime mover. Normally connection is given to general service from this pump. Emergency fire pump means it is situated outside engine room and supplied from emergency switchboard or having independent prime mover. Emergency fire pump means it is situated outside engine room and supplied from emergency switchboard or having independent prime mover. And fire hydrant means it is a connection point by which firefighters can tap into water supply. Fire hydrant means it is a connection point by which firefighters can tap into water supply. Isolation valve means these are valves that are provided to isolate accommodation, deck or engine room fire lines in case of rupture of any of these sections located in easily accessible place deck. Isolation valve means these are provided to isolate accommodation, deck or engine room fire lanes in case of rupture of this section. These are located in easily accessible place in the deck. Relief valve means these are valves provided to prevent excessive pressure in any part of the fireman system. Relief valve means these are valves that are provided to prevent excessive pressure in any part of the fireman system. Drain valve means these are valves fitted to drain the fire lane when it is not in use, also prevent the damage to pipe due to icing while the valve is operating in sub-zero temperature area. Here the drain valve is used in the fireman lane because this is mainly used for to drain the fire lane when not in use and also prevent the damage to pipe due to icing. If there is water inside, due to when you go to cold temperature, chance of icing is there. So this drain valve helps to protect during that time also. And emergency fire pump, their regulation. SOLAS requirement for emergency fire pump as per SOLAS chapter 2 regulation 10, it mentions that not less than 40% of the total capacity of fireman pump should be there and not less than 25 cubic meter per hour in any case. This is the emergency fire pump SOLAS regulation, that should be not less than 40% of total capacity of main fire pump and not less than 25 cubic meter per hour. And location, this location should be outside the engine room into the shaft tunnel or on the forward of ship. This emergency fire pump should be located outside the engine room into a shaft tunnel or on the forward of ship. There should not be any direct access between engine room and the fire pump. If there is access from the engine room, then there means of airlock should be provided. Okay, we need to ensure that the emergency fire pump, there should not be direct access from the engine room and the fire pump. If there is an access, there should be a means of air interlock should be provided between them. Okay, then pressure means for passing the ship 4000 gross tonnage and upwards 0.40 Newton per millimeter square, and if less than 4000 gross tonnage 0.30 Newton per millimeter square, and for cargo ship 6000 gross tonnage and upward, that means 0.27 Newton millimeter per meter square, and less than 6000 gross tonnage 0.25 Newton per millimeter square. Like I mentioned, say 4000 gross tonnage and above 0.27 Newton per millimeter square, and less than 4000 gross tonnage 0.30 Newton per millimeter square, and cargo ship 6000 gross tonnage and above 0.27 Newton per millimeter square, less than 6000 gross tonnage then 0.25 Newton per millimeter square. These are what the pressure. And jet capability, at least 2 jet, that means not emanating from the same hydrant, using one hose length should be able to give a throw of 12 meter. So this jet, there should be 2 jets and there should not be emanating from the same hydrant, using one hose length it should be able to give a throw of 12 meter. And C suction valve, these should be able to operate from near the emergency fire pump. C suction valve means they should be able to operate near the emergency fire pump. Suction head, total suction head not to exceed 4.5 meter under all condition of list entry. We have to ensure that total suction head they should not exceed 4.5 meter under all condition of list entry. Drive type means generally diesel engine driven should be able to starter by hand cranking at 0 degree Celsius ambient temperature. Driven type means generally diesel engine driven should be able to started by hand cranking to 0 degree Celsius ambient temperature. Fuel tank should contain enough oil to run it for a minimum period of 3 hours. The fuel tank they should be able to run oil to run it for a minimum period of 3 hours, and sufficient fuel reserve for 15 hours should be available. Okay, if the prime mover is electric motor, then should have connection with emergency generator. If the prime mover is an electric motor, then there should be connection with the emergency generator. Okay. Then self framing means they should attach the self framing mechanism. The suction frame should not have any flanges. That is about self framing. There should be self framing mechanism. That means suction frame should not have any flanges. Then international shore connection for firefighting. So let's discuss about this diagram, symbol and regulations and all. International shore connection, international shore coupling also we used to say. We know that what will happen if ship firefighting system is fails at the time of fire. So what we do is, in that eventually if there is no coupling contact with the shore system, then what we will do? Here comes the scenario of international shore connection. Here means this international shore connection, it's nothing, just an universal hose connection that should be accepted internationally. Using this, ship can get connection from shore or from other ship in case of total failure of ship firefighting system. International shore connection means it is nothing, just a universal hose connection accepted internationally. Using this, ship can get a connection from shore or from other ship in case of total failure of ship firefighting system. Regulation and requirement. As per SOLAS, every ship above 500 gross tonnage must have at least one international shore connection. Fittings and joinings have a capacity to withstand working pressure of 10.5 bar. The regulation requirement says that as per SOLAS, every ship above 500 gross tonnage must have at least one international shore connection, and fittings and joinings have a capacity to withstand working pressure of 10.5 bar. And the flange should have flat surface on one side, and the other side should be attached to coupling, which can be easily attached to the ship fire hydrant. Here means flange should have flat surface on one side, and the other side should be attached to coupling, which can be easily attached to the ship fire hydrant. Dimension and diagram. Here it is. Okay. The outside diameter should be 178 millimeter. Bolt circle diameter is equal to 132 millimeter. Inside diameter is equal to 64 mm. Slots in flanger, there will be 4 holes 19 mm in diameter, spaced equidistantly on a bolt circle of a diameter. Slotted to flange periphery flange, thickness should be 14.5 millimeter minimum. There will be bolt, and it means there will be 4 bolt, each of 60 millimeter diameter and 50 mm in length. Okay, this is symbol of international shore connection. So contents in the international shore connection box are connection flange, nuts and bolt, spanner, gasket, and there should be 8 washers will be there. Thank you.